Hello again everyone, the Snowman here and excited to talk some football today with my Copa Libertadores explained video. We'll be going over all the basics. So what is the Copa Libertadores? What's the format like, the schedule, which teams participate in it? If you find this video helpful or informational, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the Snowman Sports Media for more soccer content. But otherwise, let's jump into all things relating to the Copa Libertadores. The Copa Libertadores, also known as the CONMEBOL Libertadores, is an annual club football competition organized by CONMEBOL, CONMEBOL being the continental governing body of football in South America. So we're dealing with South American teams, not the international teams, rather the best club sides in South America. And the Copa Libertadores is a very similar competition to the UEFA Champions League or the CONCACAF Champions League if you're familiar with those. Just know that we have the best clubs from the 10 South American countries in CONMEBOL battling for continental supremacy. The Copa Libertadores, founded and first played back in 1960, it has seen several periods of growth and expansion over the years, but is currently a 47-team annual tournament. How do we arrive at those 47 clubs every year? Well, basically, however well a team performs in their domestic leagues throughout the year, that's how they can earn qualification into the Copa Libertadores, and depending on how strong or competitive a country's top domestic league is, that determines how many slots they have for teams to get into the Copa Libertadores. I know that might sound confusing, but it's actually pretty simple when we break it down. So think of it like this. This event is a 47-team competition, and it also has a 32-team group stage, just like the UEFA Champions League. After the group stage, the top two teams from each group advance to the knockout stage. But again, how do we get those 47 initial teams, and then how do we whittle it down to 32? Well, basically what I was saying before is that depending on how strong a nation's top league is, that determines how many qualifying spots they get. So in this graphic, you can see that since Brazil and Argentina have the best and most talented domestic leagues, they get more Copa Libertadores spots than the other nations. Brazil gets 2 teams into the second stage and 5 teams automatically in the group stage for 7 total, while Argentina gets 1 in the second stage and 5 teams into the group stage. We also have Chile and Colombia, who receive 2 bids into the second stage and 2 teams into the group stage. And then these other 6 South American countries have their top leagues who get 1 team into the first stage, 1 in the second, and 2 into the group stage. You might notice if you add all those numbers up, it's only 45. It's not 47 like I said before. Well, that's because we also have 1 qualification spot that's reserved for the defending champion of the Copa Libertadores, as well as the reigning champ of the Copa Sudamericana. So how does this look played out? Well, the first stage is just 3 head-to-head encounters between the 6 teams listed here from Bolivia, Ecuador, Paraguay, Peru, Uruguay, and Venezuela. They're paired up via a random draw and play 2-leg playoff ties, with the 3 winners moving on to the second stage. Then in the second stage, we've got the 3 first stage winners along with 13 other teams that are listed here. At this point, we're dealing with clubs from all 10 of the South American nations in CONMEBOL. Again, we have a random draw for these 16 teams. They play 2-leg playoff ties, 1 game at home and 1 on the road, so we get 8 winners there. Then in the third stage, we've got those 8 winners from stage 2 paired up and again play 4 2-leg playoff ties. That finally brings us into our group stage, which is essentially the 5 best teams from Argentina and Brazil, the 2 best teams from the other 8 nations, so that's a total of 26 teams. We also throw in the defending Copa Libertadores champion, the winners of the previous Copa Sudamericana, and the 4 winners from stage 3. That's how we get our 32 teams into the group stage. From there, we split the 32 teams up into 8 groups of 4, and exactly like the UEFA Champions League, every team plays the other 3 clubs in their group twice each, once at home, once on the road, for a total of 6 games. You get 3 points if you defeat an opponent, 1 point if you draw, and none if you lose. Once the group stage has concluded, the 8 group winners along with the 8 group runners-up will advance to the Copa Libertadores knockout stage. And this is an example of how the bracket looked in 2021. We have a random draw which pairs up a group winner with a runner-up from a different group. Those 8 pairings make up our round of 16, and from there we're just playing 2-leg home and away knockout ties, with the winner on aggregate moving on to the next round. So round of 16, quarterfinals, semifinals, and then for the final we switch to a single match format, 1 game at a neutral location to determine a champion. In this case, it was a couple of Brazilian clubs matching up with each other, Palmeiras and Flamengo. Palmeiras winning 2-1 after extra time in Montevideo to claim their third Copa Libertadores title. In terms of the schedule, the CONMEBOL Libertadores is played all in a single calendar year. This is an example of the 2022 schedule of play. During February and March is when they typically bang out the preliminary stages, first, second, and third. And once we have our 32 group stage teams, then the group stage is conducted throughout April and May. After group play, there's typically a longer break, and we pick back up with the knockout round in late June or July. Quarters and semis throughout August and September, and the Copa Libertadores final usually played in October or November, so really from start to finish it's about a 9-month competition. And one other note about the Copa Libertadores, the champion does qualify for the following season's FIFA Club World Cup as well as the Recopa Sudamericana, the FIFA Club World Cup being a smaller event between the continental club champs from all of the other different FIFA confederations too. And for the Recopa Sudamericana, essentially what the UEFA Super Cup is in Europe for the Champions League and Europa League winners. The Recopa Sudamericana, a matchup between the champions of the previous year's Copa Libertadores and then Copa Sudamericana. One single match as another trophy for these South American clubs to fight for. Thank you so much for watching my Copa Libertadores explained video. If you found it helpful or informational, again, please subscribe to the Snowman Sports Media for regular soccer content and informational videos. Please give me a thumbs up as well. Check me out on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll be back very soon with more content. See you soon. Cheers.